everybody's experience can be so different, and there's different orders. There's like different orders of Amish. And so when I'm talking about my experience, I'm not talking about everybody else in the different orders. Where I'm from, we were as strict as they could get when you look at like the Amish lifestyle. So I always say it's like you're at the bottom of the totem pole of everything. So it's like in the real world, there's like non-denominational First Assembly when you're looking at like churches. Well, there's different levels of churches within the Amish community as well. And where I'm from, they're called Sports and Trooper Amish, and it's like living like, I don't know, I call it like 1600s. Like you're like way, way, way back where you don't have any electricity, you don't have any indoor plumbing. So like your bathrooms are outside and there's no flushing, like there's nothing like that. So, you have your lighting in the house is kerosene lamps, and you have wood burning stoves. There's horses. They use horses for, their farming and horse and buggy. So there's no tractors or anything like that where I'm from. So it's really like hard work, and nothing about it has anything to do with like the modern world. Like they don't, you know, have anything to do with the government. They don't even have social security numbers.
Oh, wow.
And so it goes way, way, way back. Like they don't associate with the government at all. So
Mm,
yeah,
wow. And so when you were living there, and how old were you when you left the community?
I was 19.
19. And when you were living there, were you very aware of like what went on like outside the like community, or was it kind of like kept from you a little bit, or how did you kind of start learning about like other communities around you?
Where like some people think like of the Amish community, they're like, oh, they live on compounds and like you don't go outside the wall, like you live inside this wall, but it's not like that. So I grew up on a farm, and our closest Amish neighbors were 3 miles away. So everybody else around us was not Amish. And in the Amish world, they call anybody that's not Amish, they call them English. Like that's their
Mhm.
term. I don't do that anymore, but because I think it's weird, but that's a term that they use to describe anybody that's not Amish. And so you get exposed a little bit, and you're aware that obviously aware that there's this whole world outside of the Amish community, but you're still extremely sheltered. So there's so many things that you don't know, and obviously a million things I didn't know until after I left and I had to learn it. So you do know some, and some people probably like get exposed a little bit more than others depending on their surroundings and the environment that they're in, or how sheltered their parents have them. Like it just kind of depends, because it can kind of vary in between families too. So I was always curious, which is probably why I left, because out of curiosity, like I wanted to leave as well, because I knew there was more, and
Mhm.
I knew that I wanted more. So out of curiosity, I, would look for things that like I didn't know or maybe didn't understand, but I was curious about it. So I would watch like all our neighbors that were not Amish and be
Mhm.
like, oh, what are they doing? What do they have that I don't have? So I paid attention to that a little bit more. And that's kind of where like all the curiosity started to happen, and seeking of, do I want to stay here?